Hello everybody and welcome into this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We are broadcasting it here from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, and it is time for the second week of the Esports Tower Club Championships. Last week we saw some exciting group stage games, and we're expecting nothing less tonight. The Pink Panthers have already locked themselves into the grand finals, and to kick off the show tonight we will be finding out who will join them. Then to end the night, we will bring you the grand finals themselves. I'm your host, Brendan Brayloud. Joined with me to call all of the action is Colby D'Angelo Alloway. So as we're getting ready to jump into these matches, what are some things you're expecting to see from these players as they're nearing the grand finales tonight?
Well, I expect everybody to be on their top individual play, which usually can translate to top team play as well. We have already seen a lot of what both Meridian Tech and their Everests, we've already seen a lot of what they can do. So from Meridian Tech tonight specifically, I expect to see some cheeky strats that the Everests might actually be able to stand and weather. I mean, we've seen Meridian Tech pull off, through the advice of Boise State actually, some Bastion strats on Kings Row and Hanamura to great effect. And I expect that the Everests will have at least something to be able to answer those cheeky strategies that I'm sure Meridian Tech will be pulling out. Yeah,
and whoever is going to come out of this match on top and head over to the Pink Panthers is definitely going to have a mount to climb. The Pink Panthers going undefeated in this entire Rumble through this fall outing, so I'm definitely excited to see where these players can go. Seeing as this is coming to the end of the fall with the Grand Championships, we have the two exciting matches to look forward to. So with these teams and their records, we know that Meridian Technical has beat the Everest one time, so that rivalry is definitely going strong between these two teams.
And if memory serves, that one time that they were able to beat the Everest was not a clean sweep match. It was very, very close. There were definitely things that were going right for each team. So both of them are definitely going into this with something to prove, not only to themselves, but to the viewers and to the other team.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Meridian Technical has gotten some help from Boise State, so let's continue that help with Doc's Keys to the Game, which is our course brought to us by the Esports Tower, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. And of course, for Doc's Keys in Overwatch, that means to understand your comp or your play style. You want to focus on each fight, you want to get good ult value, and of course, objective is greater than kills, which is a huge problem we see for a lot of lower level teams than we're seeing like the Overwatch League, where people like to just go kill chasing. I see it all the time in other games, so I think that's definitely something that we need to have these players have the good focus, especially with the good ult value as well. We see a lot of single trades, but that can get you the value that you want to get on point with.
We see a lot of objective versus kills, mostly because, I mean, generally speaking, it feels good to go and get those eliminations, right? Like, I mean, I've been there. I've played a lot of Overwatch. It feels good to pop off, eliminate 6 people, and then give your team the point. Feels much better than being cart escort, but ultimately, cart escort is how you win games. So, and winning definitely feels better than even popping off once or twice, especially if you're in a tournament like this trying to go into the grand final. So the objective, while it doesn't always feel like the most honorable, enjoyable course of action, it is always the correct one over kills.
Yeah, so we are getting ready to jump into this match of the Everests versus Meridian Tech, and the winner will go into the grand finals to take on the Pink Panthers for the crown. So exciting things to look into. And as you mentioned, we kind of touched on, you can have those giant flashy plays and still win the game, because there's always going to be that one person on the cart carry if we do go to that match, but we're always going to start on control, as it is the way for Overwatch. So what are some maps you're hoping to see in this matchup?
Nepal is always a good one to see because that kind of has a lot of variance, and I mean, here we are on the Nepal. There are a lot of different things you can run on Nepal. We've seen Boise State run lots of dives. We've seen lots of high school teams run dives to varying effect. You can, especially on this indoor point, you can actually either run a dive or a Reinhardt, and normally those are not here. Normally those heroes are good at very different things, so normally you don't see them run on the same match, but you could do either, or even Roadhog here with the Big Boofus, and we actually know that Big Boofus is super comfortable on Roadhog, so it's likely that they would force Roadhog even if the map doesn't allow it, but luckily this will be a map that Big Boofus should be able to shine on the Roadhog there. Judge matching him on the Roadhog pick as well. The main tank between Fem Neptune and Ball, though, that's what you're going to want to watch, because their playstyles will be totally different based around those main things.
Yeah, and first 2 eliminations are going to go over to the side of Panda Squad on this Tracer, even able to take out the Cassidy. So there goes the counter as Fem Neptune's able to get the pin, but quickly followed by Judge taking out Big Boofus, proving who is the better Roadhog, but did have some help from that break as Panda Squad goes into the backline, takes out Daydream, quickly followed by Judge taking out Eternal Flame, tries to go in on that Ana, will end up getting her. So now they're pushing right into the spawn. Panda Squad even getting a little bit cheeky with that, but has the Pulse Bomb coming online, going to try to get this right her as Judge takes out Soup on that Cassidy. So now they're just going to hold them at their spawn.
Panda Squad getting that flank on the Tracer. That is something you never want to let happen on the Tracer because that's her win condition.
Yeah, we can see that happen. The Pulse Bomb attempt does not get any eliminations, and even while crouch walking back is going to drop down to that 1 HP mark. Diamond Dog going to go in with the slam on the ground, but not able to get much value there. But now we're going to see Eternal Flame swapping over from that far over to the Reaper for that close combat that favors this map so well. A great slam up is going to lead into Judge getting the whole hog, knocking off Eternal Flame, but he will get hooked off by Big Boofus. As now the Nano's coming out from Meridian Technical as well as the Amplification Matrix, but it will simply be line of sight as Pando gets taken out by Big Boofus, but Bonesaw, Diamond Dog, and Panda Squad are there to clean up for their team. But it seems Panda Squad will get finally taken out by Big Boofus, who is the last one surviving of his team, not even able to touch the point, gets taken out in the hallway. And the Everetts are doing very well.
If you're Meridian Technical, what you want to land is a huge hold hog that matches, if not exceeds, the one that Judge just dropped on that point. With the Cole Cassidy ult, that's what you want to use most likely to get people in position or even to get those eliminations because the Everest have no shield. All they can do is hide. And here we go, Big Boofus with the whole hog, which is their win condition.
Yeah, we saw the Nano Blade come out, but he made sure to counter that as quickly as possible. Same with Daydream swapping over to the Mercy for their team. We know that is their main for sure, as Big Boof is falling solo on that anti-nade's going to get a ton of value, but a great right click is going to be able to take out Judge's Panda Squad, gets into the back lane once again, and is going to land the Pulse Bomb this time onto Toad, as Despacito and Diamond Dog are able to pick up 2 more. Panda Squad even able to deny the res from Daydream, as Pando knocks off Eternal Flame once again, falling off the edges. Bonesaw cleans up, taking out Soup, and map 1 is going to go over to the Everetts.
Gonna pick on Meridian Technical just a little bit with the very, very lackluster hog ultimate. They were not getting the value that they needed to get out of that, where Judge, however, it was. Judge made great use of that hold hog. They didn't charge it necessarily very quickly, but once they did charge it, they used it, and they used it well. Meridian Technical is struggling to get the hog value that they want, and when you're trying to run that mirror matchup, it comes down to individual skill. Who plays the hero better? And so far, that has been Judge. I will also say that Meridian Technical and the Everest have both had a bit of a problem of charging their ultimates in general, which makes it especially more meaningful that you really need to have an ultimate with great impact if you're charging it once every, like, minute or minute and a half instead of like every 30 seconds like you should be able to with most ultimates.
Yeah, so going to the starting team fight, they did go for the Symmetra Bastion, but swapped off that Sim pretty quickly just to get the teleporter. It looks like he will get first elimination and second, taking out Eternal Flame and Big Boot. Fist quickly followed by Toad falling to him, and Diamond Dog able to pick off Daydream. So already, it's looking very good in this first team fight. Very dominating, is going to hold that high ground and get the point.
We were expecting Meridian Technical to come out with the cheeky Bastion strats, but actually it is Everest's. We have been duped. Bonesaw on the Bastion. Meridian Technical was not ready. We see Daydream swapping over to the Moira to hopefully try to give their team a little bit more sustain, but there is no sustain that can out-sustain a Bastion looking right at you, though Daydream might be able to help a little bit with the Moira. Big Boofus is in very dangerous territory as the Roadhog looking down the Bastion. Big Boofus needs to either be on Fem Neptune on the Rhine, or they're feeded.
Yeah, and right now we can see Judge's perspective. He's looking for that cheeky pick with the hook in the back line, making sure to stay behind as main tank leaves his whole team, gets the hook onto Soup as we talked about. And Fem Neptune is quick to fall as he did not have his team at his back, just pushed up too far forward. So now the Everetts are going to close that gap as Panda Squad goes in with the Pulse Bomb, gets Toad once again. Judge wins that 1v1 against Big Boofus. Panda Squad gets the other support, and already they're going to take that team fight. Now at 50%, pressure's on for Meridian Technical.
The initial hook was nice to the fight. The initial hook that they got onto the Cole Cassidy with the immediate elimination, that stops a lot of threats when you don't have that Cole Cassidy with the stun lock anymore. But what really sealed Meridian Technical's failure to that push is when they lost Fem Neptune, their shield tank. That definitely is the last person you want to lose, especially against a Bastion.
Yeah, so all eyes are going to be on Feb Neptune for Meridian Technical to be able to come out with a win, and now they're just going to spawn camp Eternal Flame, make sure he's not allowed to leave, so it is going to be a 5v6. But a great three-man anti is going to come out here, as well as all the ults with Rowley and the Nano and the Tank form, but Bonesaw is going to get taken out, denying 2 of those as the Deadeye comes out to take him down from Soup. So a great Deadeye, and the Nano is going to come out onto Big Boofus, as well as the Coalescence from Daydream. As the next elimination is going to be Boofus taking out Pando, followed by Despacito taking out Eternal Flame, and Toad taking out Panda Squad, who has been a very key player for this Everett's team. But a great shatter is going to land on Despacito, but he will quickly get slept, so he's not able to capitalize on it until the very end. But now that Bonesaw is back, he's able to dish out the damage and take out Daydream, quickly followed by Judge taking out Fem Neptune, and Toad finally able to eliminate Bonesaw. Diamond Dog is though going to take him out. And with Meridian Technical and how brawly that was, they were not able to get onto point. So the Everetts take that first round. And, you know, you can't go in it all alone so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your team's skills. We just saw that in the last play with both Roadhogs going for those 1v1s and just not letting their team push to the point. And so Esports Tower really takes time to create teams of well-matched teammates. And I'd like to do a shout out to the coaches, and if you're watching and haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you should. It's a fast track to rank up. Well, as we are waiting to get into this next match, we also have an interview with one of the many coaches that works with Esports Tower, Russ Hammer of Mount St. Mary. So before we kick off the grand finals, we're going to head over to him and do a quick little interview to see how he runs things over at Mount St. Mary and how they may go for him. So as we wait to hear back from him, what are some things you're looking forward to in this interview with Russ, and how he might look at Esports Towers like we do, who of some new fresh bodies that might come in for our Esports Tower clubs?
I'm particularly interested in the recruitment, what they look for in good players, that sort of thing, because, I mean, everybody that plays video games at some point has entertained the idea of turning it into a professional career, right? And the way to turn it into a professional career, you have a couple of options. Go through something like the Esports Tower, go through Collegiate, or go through other independent tournaments like that. You don't typically turn it into, unless you're like one of the miracle streamers, you don't typically turn video games and esports into a career without going through some third party. Just as you mentioned earlier, Brenner, it's something that you can't necessarily do alone, no matter how good you are. Though, if you are good, the higher you are on the rankings, those rankings are open to everybody. The higher you are on the rankings, the more likely you are that you will get scouted for all of these different tournaments and different teams.
Yeah, so it seems we are ready for Russ Hammer from Mount St. Mary. Hey, so Russ, if you can hear us, how are you tonight? And thank you so much for joining us. It seems we do have a technical issue. We are not able to hear you on
Wait,
our
that
end.
might have been me.
There we go. Now we got it.
Sorry.
Came back. So we're excited to have you join us, and we would love to hear more about your program and what games you compete in and how big your program actually is.
Yeah, thanks for having me. The program Mount St. Mary's has a handful of teams in Overwatch, Rocket League, Smash Brothers, LOL, you know, all the classics. Yeah, we're a relatively new program, started about 2 years ago, and we're always looking for good players. You know, our program is built around building out players, building out teams that engage with students in a way that, you know, being a good player on a team involves communicating well, involves, you know, problem solving, involves all these sorts of things. So we want to build out those personal skills that improve you in game and improve you in life.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you find those students and those players to invest all of those resources in? What specifically are you looking for when you go to invest this much into improving somebody's gameplay and just general personable abilities?
Yeah, so it's always interesting, you know. It's not difficult to find players who are incredibly skilled.
Yes.
There's lots of very high skill players out there. What I'm always looking for are players who understand what it is to be a good team member. Because there's a big difference there. You know, you'll find players who, you know, you'll find GM players who are super toxic. You'll find GM players who don't know how to give their teammates good criticism. And those are all the things that I'm always looking for when I'm looking for potential members for my program. I want players who are coachable. I want players who can communicate well, who can take criticism, who, when I give them some feedback at the next practice, they've worked on that thing and they're consistently asking, hey, you mentioned XYZ, have I improved on that? Like, they want to improve those skills. They don't just want to kind of grandstand and show off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we know that a ton of schools have been paying close attention to the Esports Tower Club Championships and how that competition has been playing out. So have you seen any players that have impressed you with these sports tower clubs and some of these teams as well?
Yeah, definitely. I've reached out to a few. I friended one of the players on Discord who's playing tonight, earlier today. So yeah, I've been paying attention to the players, paying attention to the games. One of the things that I really like about Esports Star, like I mentioned, I want players on my program who know how to be teammates. And finding someone who's just good, you know, it's hard to teach people how to be teammates. Like, that takes a lot of work.
Absolutely.
But you can watch this and you can tell these players are coordinated. They're communicating with one another. They're giving each other feedback about comps that aren't working, comps they need to change. They're recognizing opponents' strengths and responding to those. And those are all the skills that are important to have that you don't necessarily get just playing solo queue. So seeing players who know how to be good teammates, who know how to compete in a team environment, and you see that sort of thing with Esports Tower, and that's super valuable.
Yeah, having that flexible player base, and as you keep mentioning, taking criticism is so important, of not just immediately get super defensive or anything, or just being super open to it, and then working on it can really go the distance. So thank you, Russ, so much for joining us, and good luck out there.
Thanks for having me.
So, really great interview, really nice guy. I hope we can see more of him in the future and more of his team in the future. So now we are getting ready to head into the grand finals here. So before we do that, we're going to head it over to a quick break. So make sure to be right back after this. Oh. Seems like that would be my fault. And we're just going straight into game 2, actually, of the Everett's taking on Meridian Technical. So let's just jump right into that. We just finished up the control. The Everett's did take it. So now going over to a pure escort on Junker World.
We see the Sigma coming out from, it looks like, the Everest, if the colors are to be believed, and I have faith in the colors. The Sigma Ana double shield spam comp that will benefit the Everests very, very well on Junkertown, which is a very, very long, very, very open map. It's one of those maps that spam is going to... There are very few maps that are more spam friendly than Junkertown. One of them that comes to mind is Temple of Anubis, but that's just because spam is the king there. Spam will absolutely serve the Everests very well. If you're Meridian Technical, what you're looking to do is you're looking to get around them to try to disrupt, or you're trying to play around their shield. I mean, exactly like that. Play around the shield, snipe the enemy Widowmaker. Great job, Big Boofus, who has swapped over to the Widowmaker from the Roadhog. Two very different heroes, and I really hope that elimination is gotten, because that Doomfist was being very cocky there with the elimination onto Bonesaw. But the elimination onto Eternal Flame is not to be ignored, setting them at a slight disadvantage.
Yeah, Big Boof is definitely doing much better here on the Widow, getting so far the only eliminations for his team, as Pando finally is able to take out Soup, and there goes one more for Meridian Technical, who was not Big Boof as he got eliminated there. And it seems now they're just going to have to hide in the building, as there's only 3 of them remaining on the car, with the Everett's holding the high ground the best they can, and Pando even jumping into the backline as Pando's squad takes down Daydream, quickly followed by Bonesaw taking out Fem Neptune, and Pando taking out Toad, who's on the Zarya. We saw them on the Ana last time, but it seems that they swapped out, and now Eternal Flames on that Ana. Soup even swapping over to the Genji. So it seems that they want to go for a little bit more higher speed with that Genji to try to get into the backline and disrupt the high ground.
There's quite a bit of role swapping within Meridian Technical as well. We have individuals on, and if you're Meridian Technical, what you're looking for right now is definitely not that huge anti-nade that was just landed onto you.
Yeah, and also Soup taking out your other support or is not what you want to see as the Everett, so that could easily let them get to that first checkpoint, but a great sleep onto Toad will slow down that push as Boofus gets another great snipe onto Panda Squad. This is exactly the Widow plays you want to see of getting those picks that make the difference, just as he takes out Diamond Dog, followed by Fem Neptune with the Flame Strike, taking out Despacito. So it looks like the Widow's just going to start pushing up and even scout out Bonesaw on the Bastion, who's barely able to stay alive as Panda Squad's there to back him up, but Eternal Flame is able to take out is fun. So it seems that the Everetts might just be backing off, or they'll be able to hold it. So now it's all going to be Bastion in the window by himself right now, but the damage output is going to be too much, and it seems that they're going to get the first checkpoint.
Big Boofus is an absolute menace on the Widowmaker until they overextend. That would be the biggest, that is going to be the biggest struggle for Meridian Technical right now. All of their pushes have been off of the back of Big Boofus getting several picks, and then the end of that push comes when Big Boofus overextends or gets caught out in some way. I'm genuinely not sure what the Bastion was trying to do there. I understand with the Nano, but rocking right into an Ana with a sleep dart is unwise, to say the least.
Yeah, and the Double Dragon is going to come out for the Everest and not pick up anyone, sadly, for Panda Squad, but that did zone him out and behind Meridian Technical just that much more time as Fem Neptune hopefully got the hook onto Bonesaw, which led to that elimination. It was just not the damage output. As we saw one more fall, but the Gratific Flux is going to come out, not eliminate anybody, but before that was even happening, he was able to take out Eternal Flame and even eat the grab from Toad, which is exactly what you want to see from a Sigma player against a Zarya, but it seems that they will simply run into him even with the help of the amplifier will not be enough. So Meridian Technical continuing to push this card right up until the second checkpoint. See if the Everetts will be able to contest, as only Bonesaw on this Bastion is there to defend, but seems that Pando is going to come running in with the Transcendence to keep Bonesaw alive from the hook, and Panda Squad's coming in with his own triple here. Is going to get finally taken out by that Venom Mine from Big Boofus, but Bonesaw is going to get a three-piece as well. So very solid from these DPS players on the Everetts right now.
Meridian Technical has been set up for the Nanoblade of their lives, especially now that Zenyatta Tranquility has been used. It almost would have been better to... The Tranquility was nice, but not necessarily needed. Zenyatta did not need to pop it. That was a bit of a panic Tranquility, and it's going to cost them when they get this Nanoblade up. Because now, Meridian Technical has free reign to do whatever they want, and only 4% more to get for Soup to have their ultimate. And especially now that the Everest don't have that anti-nade, which is usually a pretty big deal, which can be a pretty big deal, and countering the Genji Nanoblade, things are looking a little bit scary for the Everest, and I think they know that. Which is why they're going to ult first, eliminate the Genji, can't Nanoblade on you. Great job.
Yeah, great use of the tank form without even the Nano needed. Able to just win out the 1v1 with the Genji, as you mentioned. So hopefully heading into this next team fight, we might see Meridian Technical have a little bit more execution on what they want to accomplish.
If you're Meridian Technical, you want to get in there really fast, get your Nanoblade, eliminate as many people as you possibly can. If you're the Everests, you want to keep taking the early fight. You don't want to give them the time to set up, and it looks like that is exactly what the Everests are trying to do. Or at least Bonesaw up there on the Bastion.
Yeah, we'll get the Reflect on the Dragon Blade, get Pando to that half, and Bonesaw will be able to take out Big Boofus, who hasn't been able to capitalize as much on the Widow as he has in the past. Genji's going to go right in onto the Hanzo, but not even get the elimination. So the rest of the team make sure to quickly rotate around and collapse on him, provide that pressure, as Pando is able to take out Daydream, but Bonesaw did end up falling, but Pando picks up one more onto Soup, as Fem Neptune and Big Boofus try to even things out, but Despacito is there to take out Eternal Flame, so losing that main support will be the death of this push, because they can only last so long, especially with the anti-nade going in. Fem Neptune as Diamond Dot takes him out, but Big Boofus is up top with the melee to take out Panda Squad, who is up there by himself. Also, well, it seems the Meridian Technical is definitely trying to keep the pressure on him, so it will cost the Everetts the Nano, but they will simply just back off.
Meridian Technical held their Nanoblade for so long. Pando over there on the Zenyatta was able to charge another Tranquility in the entire time that they've been holding on to that. And, I mean, that was their best opportunity to cap this point, and it's effectively null and void.
Yeah, and the Gratific Flux even going to come out, not land on anybody, but he's going to end up throwing the rock at the sleeping Roadhog, and that will lead to his elimination with the help of Pando with that Discord Orb, as Panda Squad is able to take out Soup once again, proving that he is the better Shimada Pro so far. So now Chum is Fun rotating back to the point, does have Shatter ready, so he could see a huge play, possibly a cheeky one from behind if he sets it up. But Bonesaw going in once again with the tank form, does not have the nano to keep him alive, and he will end up falling to the whole hog from Fem Neptune as Pando is able to take out Daydream. But now they all have to get on the cart as it is overtime. So all the ults are going to come out. There's the Shadow, there's the Transcendence, there goes even the Pulse Bomb into the Sigma. Chum is Fun able to take out Eternal Flame. Fem Neptune falls, Toad is able to take out Panda Squad, and with a great charge will deny the contest. So the Everetts have a very strong defense on checkpoint 2.
And part of that was the Meridian Technical not using their ultimates to the win condition. It's in Doc's keys to the games. You got to use your ultimate. And even if you can't get the setup on the line of sight for the perfect nano blade, either using the nano or the blade is better than holding neither until the end of the round through several fights. That fight that we just watched on the highlight reel would be the only fight where it was like acceptable, totally understandable that they didn't lose it. They were already down, there was no point, you can regroup, go next fight. And at that point, they still had time, but they squandered that time, and that cost them the second point.
Yeah, you never want to see them going into that losing the first round and having ults in your kit. Like, you should have used those to get that final checkpoint. They were right there when the Transcendence came in and prevented the car, and then Panda Squad and Bonesaw came in to clean it up. So they got right close to it but could not finish it out because so many of the members have been picked off just getting to it. And then Big Boof is doing so well in the Widowmaker early on, but then never swapped off of it until the very end at best, which just simply did not make the difference. So hopefully with now the Everetts going on the attack, we might see Meridian Technical change things up for the defense.
And it does look like there is a Mercy on the Everest team, so I do expect them to run probably maybe some sort of a Bastion. It's something that we've seen from Bonesaw. It's something that combos well with Mercy and with Junkertown as a map just in general. Usually Bastion is a very, very niche pick. Typically this is the map where if you're gonna run them, you run them. But it looks like instead of that, they will be running a Far Mercy and a Hanzo, which is honestly just as well. It doesn't look like Meridian, with the exception of Big Boofus and possibly Eternal Flame, but not if they get eliminated like that, there is nothing to contest the Far Mercy in the air against Meridian Technical.
Yeah, and right now it seems that Mercy v Mercy battle did not end well in the favor of Daydream. He was able to get the res off, but with both supports down, things are not looking good for Meridian Technical as they're going to quickly lose Big Boofus on the Cassidy this time around, as well as Toad still on that Zarya. So already they're going to get a near clean sweep here and going to take as much space as they can as they're just going to go on the offensive with that pharmacy, as you mentioned.
Bonesaw and Pando are moving forward to stop them from setting up on this high ground, because them setting up on this high ground would be very, very bad for the Everests and their push. Panda's squad is going to go ahead and join them, and that's amazing. That's exactly what you're looking for if you're an Everests fan. You're looking for this spawn camp. You're looking for that denial of the high ground, because the Everests are playing a comp that very much benefits by having this high ground and not letting Meridian Technical set up.
Yeah, Bonesaw continuing the rain of fire with that this far, taking out both Daydream and Toad, preventing those rotations, and as you mentioned, from the high ground. So now it seems that the second checkpoint is going to be where Meridian Technical has to hold them, because that might be game which will deny them from the grand finals. But now the barrage coming out, able to take out Fem Neptune and Big Boofus, who he traded with. So still getting value for just the one.
Not looking good right now if you're a Meridian Technical fan, because the Everests are holding so far right now. It almost looks like they're on the defense instead of the attack as they surround this point and eliminate anybody trying to touch it. If you're Meridian Technical, you need to regroup, and you need to regroup right now. Hope to prolong the fight long enough to get off a massive grab and then try to win every scrappy fight from there. And honestly, that's a good start. Elimination onto Bonesaw.
Yeah, he wasn't able to get it with the Dead Eye, but got him low enough to where he could just barely poke him, and he goes down, able to take out Despacito as well, so that is the main support going down. And now Soup coming in with the Doomfist, doing his best to eliminate Panda, but could not follow up onto Panda Squad, who took him down. And so it seems Meridian Technical will be able to hold it for just a little longer, but the Everests have 4 minutes on the board. This is going to be a long siege.
And I will say that was their one path to victory. Great job with the mistrust over there. That was 20% of grab charged in one fight and used to great effect. And the elimination onto Bonesaw coming from the Cole Cassidy, that was also instrumental. It doesn't look like it will end up being enough to hold them off for 4 minutes, however.
Yeah, Soup doing their best to try to be that solo Doomfist, but is going to get taken out by the Gratific Flux. So now it's up to Eternal Flame on this Lucio to cause as much chaos as he can, trying to keep Toad alive. But with another double dragon coming in from Panda Squad, they can't even touch the cart. They just have to bounce around it and barely edge it. But now the Shatter's going to come out for Fem Neptune, going to land onto the two members, and they're going to get quickly eliminate Despacito now on the Moira as well. Damadog doing very well on this Sigma, staying alive for longer than he should have. Will get finally taken down as Big Boofus wins that 1v1 against Bonesaw with the help of the Lucio. So they're going to try to start getting a little bit of a push going and give themselves some breathing room.
Meridian Technical has managed to get 1 minute and 10 seconds off the clock. Good for them. The Everest, if you're the Everest, what you want to do to push this is you want to build up your ultimates. You have 2 minutes and 44 seconds and you only have like a couple of meters to push it, if that. You can definitely afford to perhaps charge all 6 ultimates and use them all at once, if that's your game plan.
Yeah, and losing Panda Squad so early is looking good for Meridian Technical, but losing both Soup and Eternal Flame, followed by Fem Neptune, Big Boofus, will be the end of it, as Daydream being the last survivor. That is practically a team wipe there. We heard it just at the end, but the Everetts are gonna take it from a fairly clean sweep. Meridian Technical holding him up as long as they could towards the end, but it was simply not enough.
Meridian Technical made a valiant effort, especially with that grab, and then they held it for a little bit longer than that. But when you have 4 minutes and 2 meters, there are not very many teams that can pull that off, and so the Everests did end up winning on that second point on Junkertown. Really unfortunate that the Dragons weren't able to push it further.
So as you know, going at it alone can only go so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your team skills. We just saw that in the last play. Hey, with multiple, mainly the supports, we were watching that Lucio for so long, could only get so far, and we could also see how talented they are. Esports Tower really takes time to create their teams of well-matched teammates. And I'd like to shout out to the coaches as well. And if you're watching and haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you should. It's a fast track to rank up. So the Everetts will be headed into the grand finals to challenge the Pink Panthers for the crown. We will see if they will be able to take it out. D'Angelo, your final thoughts before we throw it to a break to head into these grand finals.
This game proved the importance of 2 things. First of all, single fights and the impact of single fights in Overwatch. I mean, with the amount of them, usually sometimes you can kind of like get lost in that each fight has an impact. But this series of matches proved that those series of fights where you're not using your ultimates, that ultimately ended up costing them the game. Every single fight in Overwatch has meaning, and Meridian Technical is feeling that. They thought they had more time than they did. They weren't getting the value that they needed out of each individual fight, and that ended up costing them in the end.
Yeah, so definitely a hard-fought loss for Meridian Technical. Wish them the best in the coming season. So we are going to throw it to a quick break, and we'll be right back with the grand finals right after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back into this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We're broadcasting it here from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, and we are headed into the grand finals of our club championship in Overwatch. The Everetts and the Pink Panthers were the only teams to win Rumbles this fall, so let's see who will come out on top in the grand finals to wrap up this fall season. I'm still your host, Brenner Bear Ladd. Joined with me to call all of the action is Colby D'Angelo Alloway. So we just watched Meridian Technical have a hard-fought loss against the Everetts, so now they have to be feeling good going up against the Pink Panthers, who they have yet to win against.
And so the Pink Panthers are definitely the more favored of these two matchups, though we do expect it to be a game. Even if it does end up sweeping, we do expect good things out of both of the teams. If you're the Everests, what you want to do to win is subvert a couple of individual players that we've been told to look out for, namely Lyrics and Mafsy on the side of the Pink Panthers. Those are some people that you definitely want to look out for. Lyrics on the support role, typically playing the Zenyatta, so kind of like straddling the line between support and DPS, as good Zenyatas do. You'll have to look out for that. I mean, luckily, Zenyatta is a relatively easily counterable hero. Everything that Zenyatta does, with the exception of Discord Orb. Discord Orb is relatively unfortunate if you're a tank, and that's just how that works. But everything else in their kit, they have low base healing. Their ultimate can be subverted in a variety of different ways, some of which are abilities like Ana's Nade that are just on cooldown. So so if you're the Everest and you want to win, you want to try really hard to subvert the individual talent of the Pink Panthers, and you want to play better as a team.
Yeah, and of course, with this being the grand finals for our Overwatch Fall Rumble, we want to take a moment and congratulate all of the Esports Tower Club members who have graduated from clubs and been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have received over $1.2 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard in their in-game play, but worked hard academically and earned these scholarship opportunities. We could not be more excited and proud to see all of the opportunities these players are getting. So congrats to all of you for winning that much, which is nonetheless impressive, and it's glad to see esports getting more and more recognition in the collegiate scene.
And esports is only going to become a thing that grows more. And so the esports tower will only become a thing that grows more. Just the growth that we've seen in the past couple years of esports in general, it's just going to continue to go exponentially. So there's not really a bad time to get involved with esports, whether it's through esports tower, through a college, or anything, or any other independent tournament thing like that. The time is now to get involved in esports, because it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, even though esports is only in its infancy, it's still growing at a rapid rate, getting more and more recognition. There's more and more schools constantly joining it, and there's exciting things to look forward to, just like we have this exciting game to look forward to for the grand finale between the Everetts and the Pink Panthers going head-to-head. And of course, they're going to need all the help they can get, so let's throw it over to Doc's keys to the game. And in Overwatch, that is to... What does that mean? That's to understand your comp and play style. Focus on each fight, get good ult value, and of course, objective is better than kills. And of course, this is brought to us by the Esports Tower, where you can score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. So I'm ready to jump into this matchup. I hope you are as well. And assuming we are starting off on Control, what map are you hoping to see to get this match kicked off?
It would be nice to see Nepal again. However, Lijiang is what I'm really hoping for here, because Lijiang has a very distinct set of strategies that most teams, collegiate or Rumble or anything, or even solo queue, people understand the roles that they need to play on Lijiang, and often those roles end up being something along the lines of like a Symmetra teleport, or even some teams have been known to pull out a Far Mercy.
Yeah, so it is time to kick off the club championship grand finals with the Pink Panthers taking on the Esports Tower. It's in our best of 5 series this time, not a best of 3 like it was last time. This is the matchup we expected to see coming in this event, as these 2 teams have been tied in the championship wins throughout the season. They will settle that tie right here with the club championship. So let's get into games 1 and see who will take it home. And as you mentioned, this is Lijiang Tower, so they're going for that Symmetra play.
And only one of the teams is going for the Symmetra play. So at this point, the Pink Panthers are trying to attack an already defended, already set up point. So just on paper right now, things are looking in the Everest's favor as the control point unlocks in 6 seconds.
Yeah, they'll have to be ready for all the poke in the world, though. They are going to be going up against AME on that Tracer, as well as Mapsy on the Echo with the Mercy to back him up. So before they even get the first check, they're going to be able to eliminate AME, who tried to go in that backline. So Diamond Dog was there to defend his team, but that Wrecking Ball is going to cause as much havoc as he can, as the Res is even going to come out and get AME, who was on the point, no less.
How?
But it seems Smash Boy is also going to fall off the edge, quickly followed by Gambler as AME gets taken out. So it seems Pink Panthers might just have to go for a reset.
And that was definitely an oversight on the Pink Panthers' part. Each member of their team went in deeper than they should have, and they all did so individually. And so the Everests, very carefully, with the exception of letting the Mercy get the res, they just kind of like picked them off as they walked in. So the Pink Panthers gotta step it up. Honestly, we're expecting better from you than that.
Gotta just be knocking off all the rust from Winter Break, as Bonesaw takes out Gambler, quickly followed by Pando taking out Mapsy, and Bonesaw taking out AME, focusing down those DPS. As Diamond Dog follows up, taking out Lyric. Seems like the tanks from Pink Panthers haven't been really holding the front line for their squishy backline so far.
Neither of their tanks are designed to hold a front line. The Pink Panthers, Ball is not designed to hold a front line. Ball is designed to run around and do what he wants. Diva is not designed to hold a front. There is no front line, effectively, for the Pink Panthers. They are running dive into a heavily fortified point. And we've seen that story play out 1,000 times. It's not going to work. They're in desperate need of a comp change.
Especially since Shaman's Bomb just ate that Pulse Bomb from Annie, but finally Smash Boy's going to be able to get elimination for the Pink Panthers and take out Despacito, so that main heal is gone. Quickly followed by Bonesaw falling to that Diva as Panda Squad takes out Lyric, and Mapsy is able to get the refrag onto Panda Squad, followed by Smash Boy, who goes in with the Mines to take out Pando, and now the Diva Bomb's going to be there to take out Gambler from that Mercy, so now Shin takes out Diamond Dog. Mapsy takes out Shaman's Bomb, and it seems Pink Panthers with the ults just came right in and utilized their dive, pick the target, and win in.
Very important to note here, they all went in together. They all went in together, and they all went in with ultimates. And that's how you do it if you're going to try to dive an already defended position. You can't do it one by one, and that was kind of a snipe by Bonesaw.
Bonesaw with these mines have been very good, and he even follows it up with the Riptire onto Lyric, quickly followed by Despacito taking out Gambler. It seems that the supports are also here to fight as Panda Squad takes out AME on that Tracer. But it seems Smash Boy's not even going to have a chance to go in, but he's immediately going to turn around and go right in onto that Lucio, who just slides away, and he will get taken down by Diamond Dog as Bonesaw takes down the Baby Diva after she's demeched by Diamond Dog. So now the 97%, Pink Panthers are all an all-out stall, but Lyric's going to be able to knock out Chum's Fum with the environmental. Panda Squad takes out the duplicate and Lyric, so it seems that they're still fighting on the point. Everest looking very good, but Pink Panthers on that all-out stall doing their best as the Photon Barrier comes in for Panda Squad, as his turrets even take out Smash Boy as Bonesaw takes out the Diva once again. But AME swapping over to that Doomfist is able to take out Bonesaw, but Panda Squad gets the refrag for his teammate. Gambler, her with the anti-nade, will not be able to make the difference, and the Everetts surprisingly take map 1.
A single fight and 43%, not bad for the Pink Panthers, especially considering they were running dive into Symmetra Reinhardt on the point itself. I'm honestly impressed that they managed to get percent at all, because just on paper, the comps that's not how that lines up. But ultimates and individual skill were able to kind of like power through that for just the fight there, but then the Everests were able to turn it around. And now it looks like both teams are going for a more up-close, brawly sort of a thing. Probably both of them are trying to fight on the point. Bonesaw's trying to come up with the sneaky, cheeky Bastion with the extra Symmetra teleporters, so it'll be interesting to watch how and if their cheeky plans are going to be able to be successful against the Pink Panthers.
Yeah, it was a race to the point. It seems that the Everests beat them once again with the Symmetra, looking for the boop. No one rotated around just in time, but Mapsy now on this main could have denied it. The boop goes on to the enemy Lucio, but will not be enough with his own speed boost, able to keep him alive. The D-Mech coming out from Bonesaw takes out Shin from his mech, but Baby Diva will be able to survive. Now he's just going to have to charge that back up. Already back up at that 50% as well, but both shields breaking. The Flame Check will set it. So losing that main tank, things are looking up for the Everests, but they're quickly going to lose two. Both Bonesaw and Pando falling to their counterparts, as even the environmental for Lyric doing very well. Mapsy even able to take out Panda Squad, so it seems that as soon as the Everests left the point, they were not able to win the team fight. Mapsy getting the two-piece there, taking out Diamond Dog as AME finishes off Despacito, and Chumma's Fun get taken out by Shin. Gambler finishing off Pando, denying the stall, so now they will cap the point as the Everests only get 20%.
And Mapsy sneakily got 91%, 96, all the way to a Blizzard with just a single fight and some poke. And so that will definitely secure this fight, this next fight. If that is utilized correctly, that will secure this next fight for the Pink Panthers' favor, especially since they're pushing through that room. I do not think the Everests are ready for Mapsy to have charged that Blizzard so quickly, and I don't think they have an answer for it when it comes out.
Yeah, Photon Bear is going to come out right away, but she's going to get taken out. She was separated with the Maywell from her team. So now Shatter's going to come out, land onto multiple members from the Everest. Bonesaw is able to take out Smash Boy, but Shin's there to take out Diamond Dog. Bonesaw takes out Lyric again, as Mapsy is able to eliminate the Immortality field, but Pink Panthers aren't contesting the point as much as they should. They're using that mid to the best of their ability, but now Amplification Matrix is going to come out just for the Baptiste alone, as Panda Squad's cleaning up the point the best he can, and with AME able to refrag onto him. AME's going ham now, taking out both supports, followed by Diamond Dog. Seems that this was their win condition of going into the Doomfist halfway through, so they wouldn't expect it. Pink Panthers securing this point at 60%.
And the unexpected Doomfist with 78% to their own ultimate, just proving how much work they did in that last fight. Gotta say that Blizzard was a little bit lackluster, especially after we hyped it up. It was definitely much later than opportunity should have allowed. I mean, ideally you want to Blizzard people in a narrow room and you want to wall them so they can't run away, and neither of those things happened with the Blizzard, but I guess it's all well within well because they still have the point.
Yeah, China's going to come out onto all 5 team members for the Pink Panthers, and that's going to be a team wipe. That was an incredibly fast... That's what you want to see from the Pink Panthers. This is why they're undefeated. They are going to end up actually losing their other tank from a disconnect, so Shin make sure to get back very quickly. But now the Everests are going to have to change up their team comp after getting wiped like that.
And ultimately, of all the times to disconnect, when the enemy can't make it back to the point in time, that is definitely the time that you want to do that and lose connection if you're going to do it at a relatively unimpactful time. Great job on the side of the Pink Panthers. They were a little bit caught off guard by the Everests at first, but now I think they've really hit their stride, and this is suddenly becoming much more of a back and forth type game, which is ultimately what we were expecting.
Yeah, I believe this is one of the very first times we've seen overtime on a control map in these Esports Tower Overwatch Rumbles. It's very much a rarity. We see a lot of, clean 3-0, 2-0 sweeps here. So hopefully we'll see these two teams go the distance and actually see Game 4, maybe even Game 5 if we're that lucky. We'll have to wait and see as the engagement's coming out from both sides. The Everests sticking to their Symmetra that they know and love, who's been working out very well as both Immortality fields fall early on. But Bonesaw with his Junkrat, who did so well in the first map, is going to get the first elimination on the Gambler, quickly followed by Panda Squad taking out Smash Boy. So the DPS on the Everest are here to fight as Mapsy and AME get the refrags onto both those DPSs who've got a little bit split up from their team. So Diamond Dog's going to go for the charge on the enemy, who's going to quickly just dash away as Chum's Fum is going to lose his mech, quickly followed by his own life against Shin, who swapped over to the Zarya this time around, no longer on the D.Va, as AME is just going ham in the backline, going to try to even land Lucio, but already going to have the Meteor Strike, which is going to be able to take out the Immortality Field, followed by Bonesaw. Smashboy is able to take out Pando, so now they're going to hold him out their spawn door after capping the point.
That is one of the only fights that we have ever seen where main healer goes down first and then their team is still able to pull it out and win. Good job, Pink Panthers. Every other one of you did your roles so well that you were able to do something that on paper is usually like a 98% chance you lose the fight.
Yeah, so the Everest trying to rotate around, gonna use the Shadow right into Smashboy's shield. He's gonna get immediately re-shattered, and Mapsy is gonna be there with the elimination. So losing out that ult value for Diamond Dog is not what you want to see, as he was kind of there alone for a long time. It seems Pando on this Lucio is on the point, contesting all by himself, just having some fun with Shin, as the rest of his team is going to come in. And the Photon Barrier going to keep him alive for an extra second thanks to Panda Squad, but they're just going to quickly teleport back as they've already lost both support. With Smashboy taking out Bonesaw taking out Mapsy, but with the grab actually eliminates Bonesaw. Smashboy takes out Panda Squad as well as Chum is Fum, and Gambler finishing off Diamond Dog. Pink Panthers, even losing one or two members, continue to stay in this fight and get value.
And because of that little Lucio Photon Barrier stunt, the Everests are looking at 73% to 0%, and they have to figure out some way to win the fight. If you're the Everest, what you're looking for is hard push, use all the ultimates you can, avoid the Death Blossom. That is your win condition if you're the Everest. You cannot let Mapsy do what he wants with that Death Blossom, or M do what they want with their Meteor Strike.
Yeah, so the Everests are going to use that Sound Barrier to deny the Amplification Matrix. Panda Squad swapping over to the mid. Hey, and a great D.Va Bomb from Chum is Fun is going to take out Shin and Mapsy, eliminating that Death Blossom, as you mentioned, as Diamond Dog is able to win the 1v1 of the Reinhardts against Smashboy, and Lyric taking out Despacito, quickly followed by AME taking out Diamond Dog. So they're here with the refrags for their team, but Bonesaw on the Cassidy is able to take out AME, and finally the Everests cap the point as Bonesaw finishes off Lyric.
Chum is Fun gave them a chance with that D.Va Bomb elimination there, the double D.Va Bomb elimination. They gave them the chance. Now the Everests have to play perfectly and capitalize on all the Pink Panthers' mistakes if they want to hold this for 100 to 99.
Yeah, and it seems that with only the one ult, the Amplification Matrix, a great shatter is going to land onto 5 members of the Everests, but they're not able to capitalize on, as Panda Squad did take out Smashboy, quickly followed by Bonesaw taking out AME, who couldn't get any value in the backline on the Doomfist. So now Lyric, though, doing his own backline shenanigans, taking out Bonesaw as well as Despacito on this Lucio. Quickly followed by Diamond Dog with the Flame Strike taking out Shin, but Smashboy with his own Flame Strike taking out Panda Squad, and Gambler taking out Diamond Dog. Hog as well as Pando, and now Lyric getting Chum's Fun. It seems that the supports from Pink Panthers are the DPS, and they're going to bring it home for the Pink Panthers, meaning map 1 goes to Pink Panthers.
And I mean, honestly, if you're defending against 99% and you're defending against 3 big ticket ultimates, there's not much other outcome you can expect.
Yeah, but if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights with our featured rumbles. Recruiters are always taking notice. It's a great time to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. So make sure to check out Esports Tower. So we are getting ready to jump into map 2, which is going to be Rialto, I believe. So some exciting place to look out for. And with how these teams have been playing, where do you expect their team compositions to look like?
I expect both of them to be some degree of long range, whether that's Cole Cassidy, where it's more mid-range than long range, or if anybody decides to pull out a Widowmaker, or we've seen Bonesaw pull out the Bastion a couple of times. This would be another map where you could potentially use that, because most maps you can't. I will say Rialto is not going to be a map that you're going to have a ton of success playing Symmetra on. I mean, even if you're on the defense, there's only a couple of different places where you could make Symmetra at least a little bit viable, but she's not overall viable for the map. The one exception could possibly be inside the very final building on defense.
Yeah, so definitely some things to look forward to in Rialto as we are waiting to get this match kicked off. And after that Lijiang, the Everett's came out the gate very strong. They won the first map, did lose the next two, but they were putting up a fight the entire way along. So hopefully in Rialto they can bring it back, because normally in these tournaments it's loser picks map, so this should be their favored map.
Which is a little bit interesting because they seem so attached to the Symmetra, so I'm sure they have another DPS answer to this, and there it is with the Far Mercy that we've seen out of them before. I neglected to mention that, but that is definitely something that I expected to see out of Despacito and Despacito, excuse me. I love that name so much, and the Bonesaw and the duo there. I expect that Far Mercy to put in a lot of work, especially if the Pink Panthers, I mean, they don't really need to swap up anything in their comp. They have an answer in the Soldier 76 and the Zenyatta, but it will be a matter of who can play the rooftops better. It'll kind of be like a game of aerial cat and mouse between the Pink Panthers and the Everests.
Yeah, so the Pink Panthers looked really good in game one and managed to take home the game win on Lijiang. So the Everests are a team that can remain very composed and just turn their attention to the game, as we see with Panda Squad taking out AME, but Gambler's there with the rest, so they're going to try to make sure he stays dead. And as they're getting aggressive, finally able to take out Gambler, but not AME, who's able to run away, surprisingly. He's so good on Pink Panthers for that, but that's the power of Soldier 76, just running around causing chaos. It's practically like a wrecking ball at this point, just doesn't have the health. As now Bonesaw's coming in, but he's going to get taken out by Mapsy. Finally, Panda Squad is able to take out AME after a very long engagement.
Panda Squad's like, where's his head at? Where's his head at? I can't find him.
So now with the Hanzo 1v1s kicking off, as well as the tank, and Gambler again rezzing AME just in time, but finally Pando's there to take out Gambler, as AME with the rockets is going to take out Pando. So he's there to refrag for his Mercy, even get the melee and rockets onto Diamond Dog. But, as we mentioned, objective is greater than kills. The objective being pushed that whole time as Despacito is there with the res on Bonesaw. Will end up losing his life as Bonesaw gets the melee onto Shin, who will get demeched, as well as Everett's own gets demeched. Bonesaw kind of fragging out of their mind right now. It takes out the other tank of Smash Boy and the Wrecking Ball, quickly followed by Pando taking out Mapsy.
There have been 3 resurrects, all have been successful, all of them have ended with the death of the Mercy. If you're a Mercy player, that is typically not, absolutely not what you want to do here, and it looks like there might be a 4th one. Ooh. No!
Even with the Sonic arrow.
Some of these reses that are being attempted and that are succeeding are should absolutely not be doing that. So I hope both teams can kind of collectively learn to shoot and eliminate the Mercy before she finishes the animation. Because honestly, Guardian Angeling into the enemy team, performing the res, and having it go through, that's just an insult.
Yeah, but now AME's going to kick up this next team fight with elimination on the Panda Squad, but Bonesaw in the back line with the great barrage is going to take out AME and the Zenyatta, but it seems Pink Panthers are not going to let him get an inch as they make sure to get a near team wipe on the Everett's. Even Diamond Dog in the back line, surprisingly, must have missed a charge to get that far back. He's not going to be able to take it, so once again, buying more time. Pink Panthers also having the 4 ults online, is going to use the sights and get a 3-piece for AME. The Soldier 76 has gone unanswered for a very long time.
Both the Soldier 76 and the Pharah that we now saw the swap onto Doomfist and then back to the Pharah, both of them have been unanswered. Neither of them has been an answer for each other. And normally you expect the Soldier to counter the Pharah or the Pharah to counter the Soldier, because that's just typically the nature of hit scans and Pharah on maps with rooftops. But they have just been completely separate and completely racking up the eliminations.
Well, finally, he will get booped off by Bonesaw. Despacito also gets elimination onto Lyric, so now it's a battle of the Sky Mercy against the Pharmacy combo.
I have to ask if it was worth it.
It definitely wasn't, especially because he wasn't even targeting the other Mercy, as we just now see her fall to Shin with a actually very good placed Diva Bomb, able to pick off the Mercy as Mapsy wins the 1v1 against Panda Squad, and now Smash Boy takes out Diamond Dog, and another Diva Bomb is going to come out, will not land onto anybody as Bonesaw takes out Mapsy, and with another 2-piece taking out China's Fun, and finally Bonesaw utilizing what Soldier was made for, shooting things out of the sky as Smash Boy finishes off Panda. Oh, and the cards continue to move.
It feels like both teams are playing more individually than they are together. There are some duos, mainly the DPS and Mercy duos, and as we see with the elimination on the ball, and then the pocketed emergency elimination onto Panda, which is big.
Yeah, and Amy using the sights once again to take out one, make that 2 onto the members of the Everett's. But Everett's in the backline with Bonesaw takes out the Hanzo as Despacito's there with the res as well, but will get quickly cleaned up by the remaining members of the Pink Panthers as AME gets taken down, but Gambler's right there with the res. These Mercy reses have either been completely uncontested or she dies halfway through. There's no middle ground of, oh, we're going to cancel. It's either she dies or it's free.
Or she gets it, but then dies. That has been the most common thing, and there's not a whole lot of benefit to that.
Yeah, especially if Panda's going to take you out right after you get it. We saw her early on, res AME die. AME dies, she goes for the res and dies once again. So Gambler's just definitely going for trains non-stop as both double dragons comes out at the same time and the sights for AME the 3rd time, no less. The Diva Bomb going to come out for Shin once again as well. Lyric takes out Bonesaw, who swapped over to the Soldier 76, and Despacito even swapped over to the Brig, so they're giving up on those Mercy plays. It seems that they will not be able to take any more space as they're now pushing into the spawn of the Everett. So now it is all holds bar defense here for the Everetts as the Pink Panthers do have the 2 ults going into this next fight.
And we see Despacito swap back to the Mercy there, likely to pocket Bonesaw on the full Cassidy. Or, I mean, Panda, as soon as they come back out of spawn after being eliminated.
Yeah, and a great 2-man shatter is going to help the Everetts in this fight, but will not lead to any eliminations except for Boneside getting elimination onto AME, who's been such a star player for his team on the Soldier 76 on Rialto so far. Jumbus Van able to demech Shin as Mapsy takes out Panda, so losing that main support, they're going to have to play a little bit further back, but Despacito swap back to the Mercy is going to be able to get the res as Panda Squad wins the 1v1 against Mapsy. Now Boneside taking out Lyric buys them a little bit more time because there's only 2 minutes left on the board.
If you're the Pink Panthers and you're still trying to push this, what you want to do is you can't do this with a half push. You can't do this with any less than 6 of your members. As you approach this final point on Rialto, it starts to feel like 2 CP because everything is so enclosed, everything is so, their spawns are right there. Very, very hard to cap unless you have all 6 members of your team. So if you're Pink Panthers, you want to stay alive. That's the only way you're going to take this point.
Yeah, and it seems they're having to do so right now. Hodging the Double Dragons and now going to use their own Double Dragons on the spawns to cut off that rotation point, but it seems that it will not make the difference as the Everetts will get the res off onto Panda Squad from Despacito, but will cost them the Immortality Field. Amy looking for that Master Flank with the sights for the 4th time onto Bonesaw. Will get flashbang though and get taken down. Gambler this time will not be there to res him either. He's going to have to res Lyric as Chum is fun with the remet kill onto Lyric. We love to see it as Smash Boy now taking out Diamond Dog and Despacito, taking out Mapsy. The Battle Mercy coming in clutch. You're so close to that Guardian Angel as well. Oh, Shin maybe looking for his own remet kill, will not get it and be quickly demeched actually. So the Everett's playing the best defense of their life right now, even taking out the Baby Diva, stalling him out the best they can. Bonesaw's there, trying to charge that Deadeye.
And Bonesaw will do it relatively quickly. Deadeye is an easy ultimate to charge, especially if you're hard-pocketed. 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you're the Pink Panthers, your goal is this: stay alive and push the cart. Those are the only 2 thoughts you need to have in your head. If you're the Everest, you just need to keep eliminating them in rotation.
Yeah, but with Smash Boy on those mines is something you got to worry about, but here comes Diamond Dog with a 4-man shatter. No one's there to capitalize it because the mines are simply zoning him out. So Despacito is going to have to go for the res on Panda Squad after getting eliminated by AME, taking out Bonesaw. Chum is fun. I'm taking out Mapsy, but now Double Dragon is coming out for the Everett. It's to take out Shin, and with overtime, things are looking very good for the Everetts right now, even though it got pushed up right to the last checkpoint. And so if they can clean up the Pink Panthers, things are looking very good. It's down to Gambler on the Mercy, will get taken down. Last remaining member being Mapsy on that Hanzo will not be able to survive, and the Everetts hold them at 81 meters. Pink Panthers got very close.
Despacito out there with the people's elbow, the smack to the face, the elimination there, the melee kill popping up in the chat. We love to see a successful Battle Mercy, keyword successful. We only love to see it if she gets an elimination.
Oh, this AME on these sites was uncontested for so long. We saw the D.Va finally there eating up after he had gotten the triple kill.
Yep.
And then he finally swapped over to the Cassidy right at the end because he realized, all right, we're indoors. I'm going to lose these 1v1s,
yep.
as we saw him with the final sites. So hopefully we see a little bit more variety in this next match, and we're immediately seeing that with the Orisa and the Ashe.
But then once you'll notice, once the swap to the Cole Cassidy was made, there was not a successful visor because most of the visors were in the middle of the enemy team. So in the middle of the Everests. If you're in the middle of the Everests, the Cole Cassidy is going to stun you. That's just what they do. They walk right at you and they stun you. We saw Bonesaw do that a couple of times against AME on that Soldier 76 that was usually pocketed for most of those.
Pocketed for good reason with how well he was able to capitalize on it. So if we're going to continue to see AME get pocketed, even though they don't have a Mercy, because now Gambler's on the Baptiste, it could end fatally for the Everts, but Despacito looks like he's probably going to pocket Bonesaw this time around on that Cassidy and let Panda Squad just do their own thing with the Hanzo. But with the double barrier on the side of Pink Panthers, they're going to try to hold this high ground and not let the Everts push past at all. Now Dynamite even going out, but Bonesaw is there to take out Lyric. Remember, this is for the Grand Championship, so if Pink Panthers win there, that will bring them to match point. So pressure's on for the Everts to keep this game alive, seeing as this is a best of 5 and Pink Panthers winning control on Lijiang Tower. Now, the Everts continuing to push the card will be contested, but Shin is there with the elimination onto Bonesaw, but Despacito is there with the res uncontested because both tanks are there in the front line. So they will finally continue to push the point as both DPSs fall very low to Mapsy on this Tracer in the back line, who will quickly dip and go up top to regen some of that health, but they're contesting the cart much more than the Everts did when they were on the defense. Pink Panthers playing very closely as Pando finally is able to take out Mapsy, going for the charge, will not land on anybody, but thankfully go back in the building where safety was and save Bonesaw from Lyric, who is dealing way more damage than he should have, but Gambler's there with the elimination onto Panda Squad. Quickly followed by Chumas from who got the refrag for his teammate, and Pando taking out Smash Boy. It seems Everts are trying to get this first checkpoint, but in comes Bob, our favorite Overwatch hero, as Mapsy gives the Pulse Bomb elimination onto Bonesaw after he takes down that Sigma, but Pando's there to take out Bob. R.I.P.
Huge Dynamite.
Yeah, she's getting a ton of value and already back up to 25% for Bob. Make that 30%.
Off a single Dynamite.
She is charging very quick, and now the amplifier coming out from the Orisa to give his team that extra push so they can't get that final checkpoint with 3 meters remaining. Mapsy so low is going to end up falling to Pando, going to knock up Panda Squad, but not get the elimination. Ami's there to take out Bonesaw, but Despacito's there with the res. Ami answers that with another elimination onto Panda Squad and Bonesaw once again, but Pando's there to take out Smash Boy in the front line. Pando's taking out Ami again. Baptiste is playing like a DPS right now. And getting a ton of value with Mapsy just spraying down as many bullets as they can. We'll be able to finally de-mech. Chump is fun, but it is all-out brawl now. 0.78 meters from this first checkpoint will finally lead to Diamond Dog's elimination, quickly followed by Panda Squad. It seems the Everts will finally have to go for a reset as Bonesaw takes out Lyric. He's still alive, but will cause some shenanigans, finally taken out.
I was told before the cast to watch out for Lyrics and Mapsy, but the kill feed's telling me to look out for AME over there. That's like half the team of the Pink Panthers that are individually forces to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and a long-winded team fight for sure. A lot of swaps coming out from the side of the Everts as well. Bonesaw on the Cole Cassidy, Despacito now on the Lucio. So hopefully the speed boost might be able to help them with the engage, pick their targets, but losing his life so early on is not what you want to see, but Chum is from there to re-answer that by eating the pulse bomb from the nanoed Tracer, no less. Dynamite getting a ton of ult charge. Bob already back up, and a great Gratific Flux from Shin is able to take out both DPS from the Everts, quickly followed by Ami taking out Diamond Dog. Pando's there with the refrag to take out Shin, but Smash Boy taking down Pando, and that's the end of the push.
The biggest problem that the Everests are having right now is not being aware of and respecting AME and or countering AME. They have absolutely no answer, and AME is killing at least 3 members of their team every single fight, and they're not going to be able to cap this point if they just let AME do whatever they want, especially now that they have the Bob charged. So if you're the Everests, you want both of your DPS to hard focus the Ashe, because no matter how good an individual Ashe is, having both a Hanzo and a Doomfist, and now a Baptiste apparently on them, if they all came at them together like that, you get the elimination. And once you get the elimination on AME, there's not a lot else this team can throw at you that's been problematic so far for the Everests.
Yeah, it was all out dive for the Everests in the final 10 seconds they had remaining. We saw some good ult value, but Bob came in and got the 2-piece. So that will be the end of it for the Everests on Rialto. So that brings us to us match 3 and match point for the Pink Panthers. So the pressure is on for the Everests as we get ready for game number 3.
The Everests, I do think, have the ability to reverse sweep this. I mean, we knew going into it that it was going to be a hard-fought game no matter which way it went, and we knew that the Pink Panthers were slightly favored. But the Everests are showing lots of bright spots. They are showing that they are competent. They are more than giving the Pink Panthers a run for their money. This is definitely something that I could see turning into a reverse sweep. But what needs to happen is the Everests need to focus less on the individual play that they're currently focusing on and in some ways getting outclassed by. Then they need to focus on the team play. They need to bring it in, just like we were talking about earlier with the interview. What you're looking for is not good players. There's tons of good players, and obviously you want, but more than individual skill at a player, you want them to be good teammates. You want them to be able to work with others, take criticism, do things like that. I think the Everests are being a perfect example. Right now, their individual skill is fine, but if they want to win, they need to do so as a team.
Yeah, and so that team play has definitely been kind of the winning side for the Pink Panthers so far, because as you mentioned, having that team play, hey, can be out individual level. This is something that we talk about even when Boise State's playing games, is we have strong individual play, but team play is where you win or lose a match, because if you have the best team play, it's hard for you to lose because you're always right there with your team. So as we're getting ready to jump into map number 3, it looks like it is going to be Temple of Anubis for Assault. Then after that, if we get to a map 4, it's going to be King's Row. So for Temple of Anubis, it seems AME on this Ashe is looking very good.
Absolutely. I expect the hard spam comp there. If they're going to try to play it as a team at all, doing the hard spam is what you want to do. Not just because Temple of Anubis is like the king of the spam maps, but also because they've all shown to be competent on these spam heroes. They've shown they have competent shield tanks. They've shown they have the competent long-range hit scan DPS like the Ashe. They've shown to have competent Baptiste players. Spam is definitely the move here, especially for the Pink Panthers.
Yeah, well, the Pink Panthers are 2-0 in the grand finals. Can they close it out on Temple of Anubis, or will the Everests pull off a reverse sweep as you mentioned? We'll have to wait and see, as we're going to throw it over to a quick break.
Visit. Visit. NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back in for this broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We are broadcasting it here from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. The Pink Panthers are 2-0 on the Everetts right now, so you gotta be looking out as they're looking to close out the grand finales on Temple of Anubis. I'm still your host, Brendan Bearlad. Joined with me is Colby D'Angelo Alway to call all of the action. So we're heading into map 3 in a best of 5. The pressure's on for the Everetts. We see them show signs of life on control for that first map. So going into Temple of Anubis, we kind of talked about a little bit of what they can achieve and come back with. So walk us through that one more time.
So if you're the Pink Panthers, your win condition is obviously playing to the individual player skill that has been working out for you really, really well. Most notably, that is AME, that is Lyrics, that is Mapsy. Those are the three names that we've seen a lot. Some of them were given to me before cast because we've seen impressive things from them. And then AME has just been the one that's been in the kill feed the most, and so they bear the most mentioning right now. If you're Pink Panthers, your win condition is keep playing to the individual skill because it's working for you. And especially if you're going to go Temple of Anubis, where spam comps are most effective, individual skill will continue to work in your favor by giving you a team comp that complements all of your individual members' skills. However, if you're the Everest, your win condition is quite the opposite, because you're not winning the individual skill game, because that's what the Everests have been trying to do. They've been trying to do everything individually. Most notably, Bonesaw has been trying to go up against AME, and a lot of times it works in AME's favor, and a lot of times it works in Bonesaw's favor just as much as it does AME. They are just as much worth mentioning as a DPS, but the individual skill game is not working for anybody else on Bonesaw's team. So they need to come together and think of something as a team, because the individual game isn't working for them.
Yeah, so the Everetts are going to need all the help they can get, and of course we can try to help provide that through Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch. And of course, what does that mean in Overwatch? That means to understand your comp and play style, to focus on each fight, get good ult value, and of course the objective is greater than getting kills. And of course that is presented us today by the Esports Tower, where you can scroll pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Well, we are ready to jump into this matchup of the Pink Panthers versus the Everetts. Pink Panthers are one game away from being crowned the first Overwatch Club champions and finishing this fall season completely undefeated. The Everetts have been in this position before and will need to use everything they have learned in these situations to come back in this series. Will we see the Pink Panthers take it home right here, or can the Everetts fight back for the club championship? Let's get into game 3 right now, as already we see the Pink Panthers on the defense first.
The Everest, things are looking a little bit scary for them right now, because now AME has a pocket. The Ashe that absolutely terrorized them all of Rialto and stopped them from capping point 1 now has a pocket Mercy, which will massively increase effectiveness. But it looks like the Everests are trying to do something tricky anyway, so that Ashe might not matter a whole lot. Well, I mean, she matters right there.
Yeah, taking out the main healer is not what you want to see, but it seems Panda Squad's just going for the teleport play of his team right now and teleporting back to them as they lose 2 more members of Chamasfa and Bonesaw, who's on that Bastion once again. That Bastion's not going to get a whole lot of value, as Ashe has just been kind of raining down on them with that Pocket Mercy, so they're going to go for a bit of a comp swap of Chamasfa and Panda Squad.
With the exception of the Tracer, the Pink Panthers are running a very, very standard spam comp that I think will serve them very, very well, especially with AME's skill on the Ashe. They're doing exactly what I suggested that they do. They're playing the AME skills as a team. The Everests, however, seem to be lacking a little bit if they're unable to protect their Baptiste on the approach.
Trying to nudge Bob out of the corner he got booped into, but it was too late. Hey, as already the Everests have rotated up top where they should have gone, honestly. We see way too many teams go left side.
Gone, and they tried to go the first time, but their Baptiste got caught out, which is unfortunate, but they're moving as a team, which is great for them.
Oh, 100%, and now they have the amplification matrix with Bones on this Bastion to burn down the main tanks of Pink Panther. So there goes Smash Boy, as well as Lyric, who possibly might even win for the Mercy Res, but now it seems they're going to drop down and go for the control point. But they have the health advantage here as Bonesaw now even going into tank form, able to take out Mapsy and Shin. So things are looking very good to secure this first point. Trying to finish out AME, will get it. So it seems like this first point will go to the sides of the Everests as they set up for a defense, but I don't think the Pink Panthers are going to recontest that.
That is exactly what we were looking for from the Everests. Amazing job. They all got on a comp as a team, they rotated as a team, and they executed that perfectly. There were a couple of eliminations on the side of the Everests that were just kind of like par for the course, you know, but they ended up getting that with 4 minutes and 46 seconds to attack this second point. But I think the second point will take all the team play they currently have and then some to capture, just because that's the nature of 2CP.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that going right into this push, they run right into Smash Boy, who has the bongo down. That is too much damage. They're just going to have to simply line upside it and wait. So it does not seem like they will be able to snowball quite as hard unless they get some magical 1 or 2 picks that just give them the advantage. So they're going to go for the speed left push here with Pando, but a great Dynamite's going to burn a lot of them down, and already Amy has Bob back up and ready from that previous team fight. So charging that very quickly. He's looking for the perfect push, but the amplification matrix just a hair too far back, I would say. Shadow's only going to land onto Tracer, and she's going to get Nano to stay alive, no less, but main tank not covering your team, so the Sound Barrier is going to have to come out to keep him alive, and he will end up falling because he was not in range for that Sound Barrier. Mapsy getting revenge for that Shatter, make that 2 as he takes out Panda Squad, and Lyrics there with the res onto AME, so there goes the push for the Everests. Looks like they're already going to have to rotate out of it. Bonesaw's doing his best to keep the damage out, but they're simply line of sighting him as Mapsy comes in for the Master Flank, takes him down, and the Everests are going to have to reset.
If you're Reinhardt and you shatter the gold Orisa and then walk into your shatter leaving your team, I don't know what to tell you. There were a couple things that went wrong for the Everests on that push, but the biggest thing from where I'm sitting was main tank leaving their team for no real discernible benefit because they weren't able to get the elimination on the Tracer, and you honestly shouldn't be chasing the Tracer as the main tank anyway, and that was just an incident of Reinhardt leaving the team high and dry.
Yeah, so now going for a different push on the right side, completely scouted out the whole time because AME on this Ashe has just had so much fun on the high ground, even taking out both supports. That's going to stop the push in its tracks. Bonesaw's practically in their spawn with tank, will just end up suiciding from the tank form. As AME picks off Panda Squad, they have yet to get a solid push because they just can't contest the high ground of AME and Lyric.
And at that point, that's when swaps need to start coming out for the Everest. These possibly could have been done even earlier because that first attack with the Bastion, they knew they weren't going to be able to get any. And we see the whole team switching because they've collectively decided this is not going to work. I don't know if this kind of modified dive is what they're looking for. I think their goal here is to try to dive AME solely, hard focus them and see what they can do, which can work as long as they can figure out where AME is, and it doesn't look like they know where that is for sure just yet.
And I'm also pretty sure that Pink Panthers, even in the grand finale, are having a little bit of shenanigans because as they were pushing in, we saw Gambler on the Ana hiding in a corner near their spawn and melee killed Despacito. So Pink Panthers are definitely having some fun here as AME even gets a melee on a break, no less. Despacito finally gets the anti and takes out Gambler, quickly followed by Judge taking out one more, but AME and Shin even it up. And it seems that the Everests are going to even get a second tick on the point, with Judge just in the backline being a sneaky little hamster.
The Everests are really pulling together as a team, and they're really attempting this, but the Pink Panthers keep repeatedly subverting their expectations by, I mean, you just said it, Brenner, shenanigans. There is no better way to put just meleeing somebody until you kill them, or your Ana hiding in the corner until they can melee kill somebody. There's no better word for it, but I mean, either way, it's hitting the Everests with something they don't expect, and it's working.
Yeah, there's only so much variety you could do in a game that hasn't had a real hero change in about 2 years, I believe, since Echo came out. So Shenanigans is definitely how you keep things interesting. And Mapsy there with the deflect, going to take out Despacito as Lyric is there with the res onto AME. But once again, Judge in the backline just getting as many progress points as he can, up to 83.8%. So that could definitely keep the Everest in the game once Pink Panthers go over to the attack this time around. But Mapsy's going all in on this Wrecking Ball, and
which is a terrible idea.
yeah, because he does end up losing his life, but AME is there to get a refrag onto Panda Squad. Will end up losing his life to Bonesaw, who's now on the Doom Fist. But Lyric gets a melee onto Pando, and Chum is takes out Gambler. But the Battle Mercy of Lyric coming out against Despacito wins the battle and gets the res with only 70 HP remaining. But now all of the ultimates are coming out for Mapsy, bringing out the Blade. The Bongo coming out for Smash Boy gets quickly taken down. Pulse Bomb from Panda Squad now on the Tracer is able to eliminate Mapsy and quickly follows up with Smash Boy and make that one more on Lyric. And they actually secure it fully. As much shenanigans that was, and kind of a weird brawl all over the place, the Everests take it, and I think they have to give a lot of credit to Judge, who was just in the backline with that Wrecking Ball, getting a lot of free percentage.
Those last 30 seconds, I want to say, that was no longer Overwatch the team game. That was Overwatch deathmatch, because everybody was off doing their own thing. We had the Genji attempting to 1v1 the ball. They ultimately lost that. I mean, as you do if you're a Genji 1v1ing a ball. We had the Valking Mercy 1v1ing the Ana, and they ultimately won that, because I mean, what are you gonna do if you're Ana? If you don't hit the sleep, what are you gonna do against a Valking Mercy? You're gonna die, because she's just so fast. If you miss the sleep, you're just kind of out of it at that point. So everybody was off having their individual 1v1s, and Judge was the only one thinking about the point, with the exception of AME. AME did try, but they tried after the rest of the Everests were on the point with Judge, which kind of just like does nothing but spells AME's doom. I mean, good on them for getting eliminated on the point instead of just standing there and looking at it. But those last 30 seconds were deathmatch.
Yeah. Title of this matchup so far, for Temple of Anubis at least, is nothing but shenanigans. So hopefully we will have to wait and see if that continues, or if the Everests will just have some god-tier team play on this defense and hold Pink Panthers out. If we will get to map number 4 on Kings Row, have to wait and see, as the Pharmacy on the side of the Everests is definitely been some of their bread and butter, and it will help them contest the high ground of AME on this Ashe. But now Mapsy, he continuing with this Genji, could be an issue, as well as Smash Boy on the Winston going to jump right into them, but is quickly knocked off thanks to Bonesaw.
And if you're a Winston, you never want to jump in by yourself, and you especially don't want to jump in by yourself against spam. So ultimately, Bonesaw booping him back helped him.
Yeah, so now he's jumping in once again onto the point, make that back up top, is able to take out Despacito, who was all alone with the Orisa. They did not have any support from the rest of the team, as Panda Squad is able to take out Lyric in the backline, but Shin is there to take out Chum as Fun, as Smash Boy takes out Panda Squad. But now Judge coming in with his own Winston is going to land right on top of Gambler and get the elimination, as Shin and AME take out 3 more. So it seems that they're going to get the first point very cleanly, and there wasn't ever a solid team fight. It was just
absolutely not
a bunch of 1v1s across the map that we only ever got to see 1 or 2 of at the most. So the Everests really need to start playing together here.
Especially, that's been their win condition from the very, very beginning. They're losing the individual skill battle, so they need to win the team battle. And with Azaria at that high charge, I mean, if you're the Pink Panthers, what you want to do is land the grab of all grabs right here, right now, and try to snowball this.
Yes,
because they're also 82% to Blade.
Yeah, so all eyes are going to be as Chum is Fun to eat that up, since their grab is essentially the win condition at this point. But instead, Shin and AME are just going to get a 2-piece, as Pando is finally able to take out Gambler. But the Nano Blade coming out for Mapsy, as well as Lyric, will make all the difference, taking out both Panda and Bonesaw. They're going to get the first take, make that the second tip. So now all the comp swaps are going to come out for the Everests, as the Nano comes out for the Everests, but it will not be enough as they're just doing their best to contest. It is a 3v3 on the point. Primal Rage is going to come out for Judge and get elimination as Bonesaw takes out Lyric and Shin, taking out Panda Squad. Despacito takes out Shin, and Smash Boy gets one more onto Despacito as AME takes out Bonesaw, but Pando is there to take out Mapsy, and Chama's Phone takes out Smash Boy. That is the issue with Temple of Anubis, those fast respawn timers. The attackers have to become the defenders so quickly. It seems that they will not be able to secure any further past that second tick.
Once the Everests all respawned together, they were able to take the Pink Panthers out of the equation, which is actually pretty rare, stopping a snowball, mid-snowball. But it happened because the Pink Panthers blew all of their ultimates at once for the initial team wipe. And if you want to snowball, usually you have several big ticket ultimates. You want to use a couple of them at once to get the team wipe, and then you want to hold at least one for the respawns. They didn't do that.
Well, Everett's are going to use the one ult they have online, which is Chama's self-destruct, and it's going to pick up AME with a great sleep, landing onto Bonesaw from Lyric as his Nano comes online. So waiting for that next Nano Blade with Genji at that 92%, but Bonesaw's there to take out Gambler, quickly followed by Judge taking out Mapsy. Judge doing his job, helping the backline the best he can, taking out Lyric as well. So there goes the Nano Blade potential. They just have to get on, or not even get on point. The Pink Panthers have to get on point as they have to regroup. Everett's coming together in this last little bit.
And that's somewhat to be expected on 2CP. If they're already on the point and everybody on your team has a very common, very explicit goal, it doesn't really require a ton of planning to get everybody on your team to focus the point, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so Meteor Strike came out, wasn't able to get elimination. Bob came out, hasn't picked one up yet, but Mapsy, he coming out with the Blade, is able to pick up one. Didn't get the Nano, instead Lucio had a Nano, as well as the Monkey of Primal Raging. So Judge is there trying to disrupt the best he can. Shin is able to demech Chum's Phone, quickly followed by Mapsy taking out the Baby Diva. Bonesaw is there with the charge pump to knock Lyric into a wall. Gambler takes out Bonesaw and Shin takes out Judge. Despacito taking out Amy, trades back and forth, but Mapsy just getting free damage on Despacito as Gambler gets that elimination. Quickly followed by Shin taking down on Panda Squad. So now the Everett's are just trickling in the best they can. Judge swapping over to the Wrecking Ball to try to contest as long as he can. And Mapsy seeing the Bonesaw on that Doomfist, trying to take him down, will not be able to secure it until Lyric comes around the corner and gets that right click to burn him down. Panda Squad with the Pulse Bomb takes out Gambler, quickly followed by AME and Despacito exchanging. Losing that main healer, the Everett's are not looking too well, as now the Coalescence from the side of Lyric is going to get the engage, as well as the self-destruct from Chum's Phone is not able to get any value. But he won't be able to take out Amy as Baby Diva. Mapsy there with the dash taking out Panda Squad, quickly followed by Smash Boy taking out Pando, and Gambler taking out Bonesaw. These trades are consistent, but the Pink Panthers are so close to securing this final point. They're getting all the eliminations they need, but there's always one person left, and it being a Tracer is not what you want to see, but finally Panda Squad will fall. Pink Panthers are able to secure it with a minute 37 on the board.
Which is better than the overtime that the Everests were able to do it, so that puts them at a slight advantage as we go to the next one here. This is going to be determined by whether or not people can play together and coordinate not only their individual play, but also their individual ults. Because that was the biggest issue we saw with the Pink Panthers. It cost them like 4 minutes of time on the clock, because their initial snowball attempt failed because they used everything all at once instead of very slightly staggering it. Not like a big stagger, just like you use all of them, and then the second you see somebody else, you use the rest of them, right? Because it usually only takes, especially attacking that point, they really only needed the grab and the blade. The rest of the ultimates could have been used immediately after that. So for the Pink Panthers, if you want to win, Ultimate economy is your best friend. You want to know what the Everests are going to hit you with, and you want to use your ultimates to massive effect. If you're the Everests, you need to, like, I've said team play before, but in addition to that, you also need to be playing a comp that works well together. Like, for example, right now, the Everests, I don't know what value they expect that Moira to be able to provide their Doomfist and their Genji. I don't know how they expect that Moira to be able to die with the rest of the team. There seems to be a bit of a disconnect.
Yeah, and it seems that even with those issues, Bonesaw on this Doofus is going to get a 3-piece for himself, trying to make it 4, but Judge is going to get the 4th onto Gambler. Bonesaw popping off very strongly on this Doofus, and it seems that the little bit shenanigans that the Everest had of hiding by the fountain as the Pink Panthers pushed up worked out, but it will only ever work once, as now the Pink Panthers pushing back up with AME swapping over to the Cole Cassidy, and now Lyric on that Moira. Gambler now on the Lucio, but Bonesaw is going to go right in, and Panda's going to get the elimination onto Gambler. Taking out that Lucio speed boost could give them the edge, but Mapsy's there to counteract and take down Bonesaw as Panda Squad takes out Shin as Panda Squad's now on the Genji. AME taking out Despacito. Things looking very good for the Everett's, only losing 1 so far. But Pando and Judge able to pick up 2 more, taking down that main tank and the main heals. So they just have to get to first take. Pink Panthers have time for about 1 more push with only 30 seconds on the board.
If you're the Pink Panthers, what you want to do is charge these ultimates immediately and try to do it before the Everest. They have about a 10% advantage on the really big, really important ultimates, which is the Blade and the Primal Rage. You want to charge that, use it the second you get it.
Yeah, going into a close hallway with a Doofus is not what you want to see, but doesn't matter to Pink Panthers as they pick up 3, make that 4. AME taking out Bonesaw, who's been the key player here, and both tanks. Only the supports remain for the Everett's. The Coalescence did come out for Lyric, but it seems that will be it. The Pink Panthers will take the Crown Championship. A hard-fought victory from the Everest. I'm surprised how well they came back, but in that last little minute, they were not able to pull it out. So Pink Panthers will be the victor of this Esports Tower Overwatch Rumble. So your final thoughts?
That's not to say that it wasn't a fight. The 3-0 is a little bit deceptive. The Everests made them work for it at every single turn, and this easily could have been an Everest's game. I cannot emphasize enough that the Pink Panthers, especially on Temple of Anubis, they had 27 seconds in that final. They had 27 seconds. They had a single fight to win. They had 1 opportunity, and it ended up working out positively for them. But I cannot emphasize enough how proud the Everest should be of themselves and how proud Everest fans should be of them, because that 3-0 is not very reflective of like the skill gap between the 2 teams, because ultimately what the Everests were lacking the most was team play.
Yeah, we saw right in that final moment of them defending, it was just an all-out brawl. It was just constant 1v1s across the map. They weren't having a solid, push, reset, constant like that. It was just they were trickling in. Then it went to nobody's on point. Everybody's just going for kills. And we keep saying in Docs, you have to go for the objective, which is what we saw Judge doing, which is how they got the win in the first place. So it seems that they kind of went back on themselves of, let's focus the point. All right, we're defending. Let's not focus the point at all and go for kills. So it was definitely interesting plays coming out of the Everest. But as we wrap things up here, I have to ask, out of all of these players, who do you think deserves the Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game tonight?
I gotta say AME, because I think their play style, I think the Pink Panthers play style on Temple of Anubis was at least in part to AME's exceptional individual skill on the Ashe. I think that's part of the reason they picked Spam, in addition to the fact that Spam is just good on Temple of Anubis. I think that pick to the Ashe, they formed their entire team around it, and that Ashe almost single-handedly stopped the Everests from capping .1 on Rialto. So I gotta give it to Amy.
Yeah, to be completely honest, Amy was going to be my answer, because they're the person we were highlighting so much when they were on the Soldier 76. We kept highlighting how their visor got so much value, and even when it was kind of just counteracted by the Diva, they had already gotten a triple, so it was too little too late. So I definitely think it's well-deserved of Amy getting Player of the Game. But as we head over, it looks like it will be Amy. Okay, we're showing Diamond Dog, and I was very confused, but very well deserved. I mean, you mentioned their Ashe was practically solo holding themselves. They were constantly winning the sniper battles, getting a ton of value. So well deserved Amy. They will be the Player of the Game, which is brought to us by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. AME is the Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game. Well, as we wrap things up for this podcast, we want to congratulate the Pink Panthers Panthers on being crowned the club champions of the fall Overwatch season. This team proved throughout the season that they are a very talented young team, and I don't think any other team could deserve this club championship title more. The Everett's had an incredible fall season with 2 championships and should be proud of their performance this week. We should be excited to see how they bounce back and return the winter season. So big congrats to all the teams that competed this week and throughout the fall season. We will be back with the winter season of Esports Tower, and we'll make sure to close things out with the top 5 plays brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills to the next level with over 10 job offerings, a $20,000 sign-on bonus, and your degree of choice paid for. Make sure to reach out to them at iGuard Gaming. So that will wrap things up for us. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast, and have a good night.